People, greetings, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Tippa Irie. I am at my book launch in Coventry at the Two-Tone Village. Take a look. It's building up nicely, so make sure you stay locked, alright? We're going to be doing an interview in about 10 to 15 minutes time, and then we're going to play some tunes. Yeah, and then I'm going to be doing a book signing. So if you take them to the book, fill the book. I'd like to welcome everybody to this wonderful evening. Tippa Irie book launch at the Two-Tone Village. Thank you very much for coming. In about 10 minutes time, the interview will start with the beautiful Kat-a-lyst, as you can see here. And I'm going to be here, I'm going to be talking about my brand new book, Stick to My Roots. And of course, after the interview, you can purchase a copy if you wish. Alright? Got a few CDs on sale if you fancy, if you're still playing CDs. Let me see your hands if you're still playing CDs. Alright, there you go. So if you want a couple of my albums I've got here on sale. So if you want to purchase one, you can do also. So in about 10 minutes, the interview will start, alright? So tell your friend to tell a friend. Phone a friend. Alright, we continue. Sounds of Aswad. I tell you. Later will be great, huh? I promise. Sounds of Aswad, classic. About 10 minutes, interview will start with yours truly and Kat. Warming up proceedings. I'm going to play some tunes. Kat's going to play some tunes later on. And I'm going to slide out. Neatly. Alright, get your runs later on and do another tune. Let's play a classic. Check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Audio check 1, 2. Check 1, 2.
See, you moved the big.
Oh no, that's what you're doing here, rather than trying to get out and back in again. And after the box China where they made those. Then they sent them
Check 1, 2.
Oh, yeah.
Check 1, 2. Mic check 1, 2. Alright, 1, 2. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Two-Tone Village. Thank you. My name is Tippa Irie, and today I'm going to sing a couple of songs for you, and then I'm going to be interviewed by the wonderful Kat. We're going to talk about my new book, which is called Stick to My Roots. So, as I'm in Two-Tone Village, I thought I'd start with a ska tune. Alright? So, that's, so big up everybody that's turned out and that's decided to come and pay me a visit today. Much respect in every aspect, as we say. And I hope you enjoy these next couple of songs that I'm going to do for you. One of them is from my latest album called I'm an African, which is out right now.
Come play neighbor.
In fact, huh?
Come play neighbor.
Come play neighbor.
Yeah, man.
I don't think I can remember that. You do, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right. But yeah. But I'm going to do this tune first. It's called I Love Ska. So let's do it. Mr. I love my blue beat. I love my reggae music because it sounds sweet. For the people, guess what? You know what? I love ska. It no matter what, I love ska. Please remember, I love ska. From I was a youth, a little youngster. Please remember, I love. Listen to me, people. Mr. I love my ska music, my music. And you know I can't refuse it. When it hits you, you feel no pain. I can feel it running through my veins. Mr. Irie, I love the Kat-a-lyst. And you know I love the hep toes too. The hep cats and the toasters. When I eat them, I say respect you. It no matter what, I love ska. Please remember, I love ska. From I was a youth, a little youngster. Please remember, I love. Listen to me, people. Ska was born down Jamaica way. In the 50s, it was ska. sound systems used to play. When the rude boy never used to come and dance, give with the music make we jump and prance. When Ska came over to Coventry, that's when they call it two-tone. When I feel this music in my bones, I just can't leave it alone. It no matter what, I love Ska. Please remember, I love Ska. From I was a youth, a little youngster. Please remember, I love. Let me see your hands, everybody, come on. I need the ear to escape. 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 Then move to the left to escape. Move to your left to escape. Move to your left to escape. Move to the left to escape. Then move to the right to escape. Move to the right to escape. Move to the right to escape. Then everybody down to escape. Everybody down to escape. Everybody down. Everybody. Yep. It no matter what, I love Ska. Please remember, I love Ska. From I was a youth, a little youngster. Please remember, I love. Thank you very much. Put your hands together. Thank you. Thank you. Well, I thought I'd do one cover version, as I'm in, you know, Two-Tone Village. I'm going to do one cover version for you, a tune that you all will know, and I'm going to try to get you to sing along with me. It's not my tune, it's a friend of mine tune that I know very well, and I did this tune with a guy called Papa Crook. This is my rendition of this tune. Yeah? Now this is not no jackanori, this is a true story. This beautiful mom said she can angle me, but I'm ready, I'm ready, I'm ready. Come and say, hey, fatty boom boom. Come and say, selector. Yes, I know you know this tune, so sing along. I thought I'd do one cover for you. Go on then, come again. Big up all of the people that in the Two-Tone Village tonight. Mr. Irie's live. Book launch again. We're working out with the bound the sound and the wind come down the main. Great is great and you can never on the way. Don't blame on the king of numbers and I bring it down with the bound the sound and the wind come down the main. I'ma say, hey, fatty bum bum. I'ma say, sweet sugar dumpling. I'ma say, hey, fatty bum bum. I'ma say, make I tell you something. Come and say, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid I'm that. The self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king of praise. Let me hear everybody, come on. Come and say, hey, fatty bum bum. And when we say, you sweet sugar dumpling. And when we say, hey, fatty bum bum. Come and say, make I tell you something. You could have looked like a mouse and a $1 bill. We never stop trying till you drop down then. Never make your big size fool you. The cooler they have to cool you think you're better than me, but me better than you. You think you can angle me, but I can't angle you. But love is not a mission or a competition. But have me come first and now you come second. You could have looked like a mouse and a $1 bill. We never stop trying till you drop down there. You never make your big size fool you. Two-Tone Village sing with me. I'm gonna think about the sound of the way you come down on me. Come and say, hey, fatty bum bum. And when we say, you sweet sugar dumpling. Come and say, hey, fatty bum bum. Come and say, make I tell you something. You could have looked like a mouse and a $1 bill. You never stop trying till you chop down there. And never make your big size fool you. And then you're cool and they have to cool. Listen, you think you're better than me, but me better than you. You think you can angle me, but I can angle you. But love is not a mission or a competition. But I me come first and now you come second. Cause I would think you bound us up to need the wind come down the way. But it is a Mr. Irie round the muffin DJ. But on your way, up on me, say on your way down. But there's some Irie from the ruling the sounders. I want to the sound of I'd like to thank Two-Tone Village for inviting me down here. Maximum respect to you. Now the next tune that I'm going to do for you is a new tune. And I am a black man, and I was born in the UK. My parents are from Jamaica. My ancestors are African. So I don't know about you, but I am proud to be who I am. So if you're proud of yourself and proud of your race and proud of, well, sometimes we're not proud of our politicians. Yeah. Bunch of, yeah. Can I swear? Yeah. They are messing up our country slowly but surely in front of our eyes. So ladies and gentlemen, please, I'm asking you to tell a friend to wake up. Because we have a mayor in London that don't know what he's doing, or he knows what he's doing. He's fucking up the place. And then we have a prime minister that, boy, I don't know about the Asian community, but I know they're not proud of that prick. Yeah? Because he's definitely messing up the country, and now we're bombing people. And, you know, there's a genocide going on in Palestine right now, and it's not pretty, and it's not right, and it's an injustice, and yes, everywhere. So, you know what I mean? The thing is, everybody in this room, we want peace, love, unity. Well, you know what I mean? So that's what we're fighting for. So our leaders have to wake up, or we have to wake them up. And only we can do that. All right? So anyway, my, yeah. It's not going to say riot. I don't know about that. But anyway, I'm not here to depress you. But sometimes you kind of have to let people wake up to the reality of what's going on right now. But this song is called I Am an African. So listen to the lyrics and understand. Mr. Irie, this one goes out to all of the people them that's proud of where they're from. I am proud to be African. And the sing say, I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a Britain, so you know I know where I'm. Well, I know where I'm coming from, I know where I'm going, it's a positive energy. I keep on showing respect myself, respect my youth, and respect my ancestors. Can't forget Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X and Robert Nesta. Teach us to unify and pray for one another. Teach us to unify and love one another. One heart, one aim, and one destiny. And that's how we want in the community. So, I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London. Listen lyrics. Because I'm coming from London, place of the cockness, place of the... Pull up again. That tune is spiritual. Come again from the top. I'm gonna do this one more time. Mr. Irie, OBF. Is that what you about the sound of the way come down on me? One more time. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London, so you know I know. Listen, because I know where I'm coming from, I know where I'm going, it's a positive energy. I keep on showing respect myself, respect my roots, and respect my ancestors. Can't forget Marcus can't be Malcolm X and Robert Nesta. Teach us to unify and pray for one another. Teach us to unify and love one another. One heart, one aim, and one destiny. And that's how we want in our community. So I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London. So you know I know where I'm coming from. I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London. Listen. Because I'm coming from the natural continent, the motherland, with natural resources, minerals and diamonds. Anything you plant, well you know it have to grow. Africa, it is a place that everybody want to go. Like Addis Ababa, in Ethiopia, Lagos, Nigeria, Nairobi, Kenya, Azerbaijan, in the Ivory Coast. Well, of them, the place them I want visit the most. My ancestors were captured, taken to Jamaica by the British and Spanish colonial masters. In 1962, them get them independence, and them fly come a Coventry, Fishbone and Pen. So I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a London. So I know where I'm coming from. Well, I'm a black man, I'm an African, and my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in a land. Cut the music out. Because I'm coming from London, place of the Cockney slang, place of the lovers rock, grime and the jungle is, place for the Roman queen, they are Buckingham, fish and chips and egg and bacon, rainy, cloudy, enough taxation, house of common and enough politician, and a lot of institutional racism. Thank you very much. We call that lyrics. We write constructive lyrics. Sister Kat, it's your time.
People, give it up for Tippa Irie. I feel like you can do way better than that. Give it up for Tippa Irie.
Thank you.
Tippa.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you for the invitation. Thank you for having me. Commentary.
Anytime. So you know what? I feel like first question I need to ask is, who is Tippa Irie?
Well, grew up in South London. Basically, my dad, my mum came over as part of the Windrush generation, and they had myself and my two sisters, and we grew up in South London in a place called Brixton. I was born at Dulwich Hospital in South London, and then we lived there for a while, and then when I was very young, we moved to Brixton, and I grew up off Pole Harbour Lane in Brixton, South London, and that's where I kind of got my schooling in music and in life. My dad was a greengrocer, and he was a farmer in Jamaica, and he used to plant yam. They come from a place called Trelawney in Jamaica, and when my mom came over, he kind of took his farming vibe and brought it to here to sell basically yam, dasheen, just Caribbean food to the community. So that's basically what how I grew up. And my dad, basically he was the the backbone of the family, obviously, and he had a sound system. So he basically he had a sound, and basically I grew up basically in a shubby blues dance, because my mum and my dad, they used to keep a shubby every Friday and Saturday in Brixton.
Okay.
And that's where I kind of got my schooling for music. My dad's sound was Musical Messiah, and I learned basically from him. So basically, I would say, who I am is a musician. It's just, music is my life, and it's always been my life, and it will always be my life. So while I'm alive.
Hear that. But
I hope that answers your question.
It does. But what I want to know is, for those that were either kind of in England, your parents in particular,
Yeah.
from the Caribbean.
Yeah.
What was it like for you? Just to give us some context.
Well, for me, it was quite, I was very lucky because my dad had a shop.
Yeah.
So, you know, and so we always had food around, you know what I mean? We didn't have much. When at the beginning we were in one room. So basically it was my mum, my dad, and me and my two sisters. We all slept in one room in Dulwich. And then my dad had the corner shop in Dulwich, and then he moved from there to Brixton. And then he had a corner shop on the ground level, and then on the top of the flat, on the top of the shop, we had 2 floors.
Okay.
So the family lived upstairs, and then downstairs in the basement, he had 2 rooms. So, you know, it was, my dad and my mum were very hard-working people. My dad, obviously, like I said, he was a shopkeeper. My mum had 3 jobs. She was a hairdresser, a cook, you know, and obviously she always, you know, she used to help my dad in the shop. So, for me, you know, growing up, I was very lucky because I had all the sweets at school, you know. So, I didn't have problems making friends because my dad had a shop. I had all the sweets, so everybody wanted to be my friend because I had all the sweets at school. You know what I mean? So, but to be honest, I was very lucky. I was, you know, I can't say I really wanted. I didn't have the latest trainers or the latest stuff or nothing like that. My trainers had no name. You know what I'm saying? It was just a little. But you remember the black plimsolls? Yeah, that's what we used to have. So, you know, so for me. We didn't have a lot, but we had food on the table, and my parents always made sure that me and my sister, we were provided for. So I would say that I had a good childhood.
You got both of your parents.
Yeah, I miss them so much, you know what I mean? But you know, nothing stays here forever, and there's one contract that we can't get out of, you know, and that's death. So, you know, I miss them every day, but you know, I'm thankful for what they did for me, you know what I mean, like, and how they brought me up with discipline. And I find that's kind of missing a lot these days. You know, I'm grateful for how they brought me up because it stood me in good stead.
You know, earlier you spoke about sound systems.
Yes.
Wow, what does that mean to you, sound systems?
Wow, that's a good question. I mean, sound system is giving me everything, you know, that I have today. You know, it's basically been a major part of my life, even at school, because we had like me and my friends. My dad had his sound, but me and my friends, we had our own sound system. You know, so it was called Tippa. That's where the name Tippa comes from. You know, because there was a sound in South London called Stereograph, and there was another sound called Frontline. So as little kids, well, you know, about 12, 13, 14, 15, there was a sound called Frontline, and we had a sound called Younger Frontline. And then there was a sound called Stereograph, and then we had a sound called Tippa, you know? So basically, sound system has been all my life. And then I used to work on a sound system called Mikey Dread. And Mikey Dread's sound was run by this guy called Mikey Rennie. And he was the brother of Cecil Rennie from King Tubby's. So I used to work on Mikey's sound. We used to go to his dances near my sparring partner. And then Mikey brought me to Cecil from King Tubby's and said, look, you need to listen to this guy. He's very talented. We need to have him on the sound. Yeah. So he brought me to Tubby's, and then I started to basically lift the sound boxes for King Tubby's, run the wires, and then obviously when the sound was set up and the dance was going on, I would go on the mic. And then from there, it kind of moved on to saxo.
Sorry. Okay, I hear that. You know, you made that sound easy, from lifting up the boxes to just going on the mic. Yeah. I'm sure you had to work your way through.
Yeah, you did. You know, it was challenging because when you being on the little youth sounds, then the sounds then that were just playing in house parties, and then you step up onto a sound system like King Tubby's. Yeah. You know, it was another level, but it wasn't glamorous. You know what I mean? Because we used to have to ride in the back of a sound van. So you could imagine driving from Brixton to Leeds. Thank you, darling. You could imagine driving from Brixton to Leeds in the back of a sound band. So when we used to have to go to the toilet, we just used to bang on the sound band for them to stop, and sometimes they wouldn't stop. You know what I mean? So you know, it wasn't glamorous, you know, but it was a learning curve. It was learning for me. It was a place where, you know, you basically just, you know, picked up as you go, just learn as you go along. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you have to start from the bottom and then work your way up, and that's basically what I did. And then from Tubbies, you know, I used to kind of like enter talent competitions and win talent competitions. And then one day, a guy called Dennis Rowe and Lloyd Francis from Saxon Sound, they was at one of the talent competitions, and they spotted me, you know, and I was kind of like the pride of Brixton, you know what I mean, and they were from Lewisham, you know, so they kind of like basically kidnapped me and took me to Lewisham. And when I got there, Maxi Priest was there, Smiley Culture was there, Asher Senator, Daddy Colonel, some really talented, Roger Robbins, some really talented people. Yeah. So I brought my best friend at the time was Raymond Roberts, is called Daddy Rusty. And so I took Raymond with me as my little chaperone, you know, and we went and we started to go to the dances and we liked the vibes there. So it caused the uproar in Brixton in the community because it was like their golden MC was deflecting to the other side. Yeah, I abandoned him. What is it abandoned? It was like, at that time, you got to remember, for us, it was like, for me, I was a young entertainer or artist or trying to be an artist. And wherever there was an opportunity for me to go on the mic, I would go. You know what I mean? So you just see as an opportunity for you to put yourself out there. So basically that's what I did, where, you know, it wasn't even like I deflected, even though on Tubbies I used to get £3 and then on Saxon they paid me 10. So I thought 3, 10, it's a bit better over here. You know, it's £10. You know, it was quite a decent amount of money at that time. Yeah. Yeah, they were very stingy. He was very stingy. I love him dearly though. But yeah, he was very careful with his money, let's just say that. But yeah, so I mean, you know, it was like a tenner. So I thought, you know what? I'm getting paid better. The vibe is better. You know what I mean? Because when you're performing with people like Maxi Priest and Smiley Culture and these guys, they push you. You know, because if somebody goes on the mic and smashes a place up and you're next up, you have to deliver. Yeah. So basically that's what happened, and I think that's what kind of pushed all of us and made all of us become successful artists, because we pushed each other and we would, you know, we encourage each other, push each other, and I think that's what made us kind of excel at that time.
Yeah. But you know, you're very well known for speaking very fast on the mic.
Yes.
And I want to know, where did that come from?
Well, the fast style in the, you know, if you're a Saxon MC at the time, if one of us came up with something that was unique and was original and it was different, then all of the MCs on the sound would follow that style. So if I created something like, you know, if I scratch your back, you know, you scratch mine, you know, an entertainer, then I do one thing in a melody that's like that, then Levi would write a lyric in the same melody, and Smiley would write a lyric in the same melody. So Peter King, he kind of double timed the fast chat, the normal chat, because back in the days, you know, you'd have U-Roy, which was more like, and I will tell you about the sound of the way come down to me, wait the town and tell the people. And then you'd have and then you'd have people, you know, would just chat. Our style was kind of like, you know, it's good to have the feet. Well, I control the north, south, east and west. In London and Birmingham, man have to confess that I'm on Tippa Irie, who the Lord God bless. When enough money, man, we need them want to in. So that's just like on a level. But then Peter King came with many, the sweet men on Philly, the call me here, my boss, my teeth, my black, the same, the fuck for the mic, the track, the and then, yeah, I mean, so all of us would create a style. So Peter King's style was me neat, me sweet, me no fit, me call me ear, me brush my teeth. So when all of us heard that, we was like, yo, we're taking that. You know what I mean? We're taking that. So I came up with at the time the lyric, I ride the slim, me 5 minutes off the wine. Because my dance, me chat 10 times the lyric, me chat mine, 7, 49, 3, that equal. You know what I mean? And the Levi's tune was me God, me King. Jaman me cool, no stopping like you, no walk on the street, no going for fool, I rap at the dance, I might come into, eat on the table, sip on the stool, no black, no brown, no brown, no black, with on my chest, spine on my back, cap on the back of the back of the back of the back, you know what I mean? And Colonel's one was like another level, because he was, we used to call him like, you know, he used to be like, how do you roll your tongue? You know? So basically that's how that style, it was created by Peter King. And all of the Saxon MCs would take a piece of that and have our own style. And then basically we just push that style out there. And then all of the MCs them from around the world, you know, whether it be Busta Rhymes, Beanie Man, or whoever, they all kind of just took that style and just run with it. Yeah. But, you know, and then you have people like Papa Sam, you know, Lieutenant Stitchy. These guys, them in Jamaica, they were also doing it in their way. You know what I mean? But for us, it was created by us.
I hear that. People, give some noise for that, man.
Thank you.
So, you know, when I was kind of thinking about some of the questions, and some of the thoughts and the feelings that have been going around, I wanted to ask you about, has sound system changed?
Well, yes. It has changed. I mean, there's some sound systems that stay true to the original format. Shaka, before he died, he kept his original format. And the way how he played sounds like Abashanti, Irish Steppers, Channel 1, and Jayut, and all these sounds, the root sounds them, have stayed true to how they play their sound. You know, and then you also have the new kind of like dancehall sound clash culture, which, to be honest, I'm not really in. I don't really feel it, because I'm not really with the concept of playing a chorus of a tune, and then you play the chorus, and then for 15 seconds, and then you play a next tune, and then you play 15 seconds, and then you play a next tune. And then I just can't see how people can dance and really entertain themselves if they're only going to hear the chorus of a dance band. You know what I mean? So I can't really relate to that. So for me, it's, you know, sounds like Saxon was an MC sound. And that's what really kind of made the sound stand out and be different, you know. There was other sounds like us. You had sounds like Coxon, who were kind of like they were older than us. We were like the young pretenders. When Coxon was doing their thing, we kind of came up, and you know they used to try and bully us, you know, because we're young boys, you know, and the young boy they might give them trouble. So you know they never really liked it, but there's not that much they could do about it, because we just had the MCs, and we had every one of our MCs that were unique, were original, and had lyrics. So it's hard for them to compete, but they had some decent MCs, but it wasn't on our level, if I be honest. So you have rubber dub sounds like Saxon, King Tubby's, Unity, you know, and then when Stone Love came in, Stone Love was a sound that kind of made it the unique with 2 turntables. You know what I'm saying? They were the ones that kind of changed. So that kind of changed things in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? So for me, sounds like Saxon should have just continued to their original format, because people like that. I mean, if I kept a dance tomorrow with all of the original MCs, it would 9 times out of 10 it will sell out, because there's people that like to come to dances and hear live performers in the dance. And then Stone Love was unique because they had a little juggling style, which was entertaining and which was fine, and which was what they were true to. you know, and which they stayed true to, and they're successful at that, you know. And then you have the roots sounds like Channel 1 that play their roots music with one turntable still, and so they're staying true to that. So the changes for me with the sound clash thing, even back in the day, man used to string up with their sound. So if you had 4 sounds, it would be 4 sounds stringed up in a venue, and the 4 sounds then will be testing their sound, playing their sound. So I call a lot of these sounds just record block sounds or laptop sound. They're not really sound systems, because like every soul man really supposed to have his song, you know what I mean? And then and play and clash that way. But there's nothing wrong with, you know, 4 sounds going in the dance with their laptops and the best sound that plays the best music on the night wins. But I just can't deal with the concept of playing a tune for 15 seconds and then playing the next tune. But if you come out with your missus, you know, and you're dancing to a tune, and you hear Dennis Brown, and it's a nice dub play, and you want to at least hear 2 minutes. You know what I mean? You want to hear 2 minutes of the tune, so at least you can dance with your missus for 2 minutes. You know what I'm saying? But but you can't really get into the tune if it's only 10 seconds of a tune. I mean, I get the concept, but it's not for me.
I hear that. And you know, you've travelled here, there, and everywhere.
Yes.
How have you found it going abroad, to here in the UK, to Jamaica and across?
Well, everywhere is different. You know, there's not many places, it's kind of like where I haven't been, you know, but the music, that's why I love music so much, because music don't have no language, you know. So I've been to places like in Asia, like India. I went to India with the Reggae Rajas, and these guys, you know, they're carrying on the sound system culture in India. So it's a different vibe. Everywhere that you go, it's a little different. And some places are into different tunes. Certain areas, like if you go to San Diego, it's different from being in New York. And if you're in New York, it's different in Las Vegas. If you're in Las Vegas, it's different when you go to Chicago. There's different tunes. So when I go to these places, I kind of have to touch base with the promoters and say, which tunes do they like? Even though I don't know, I've got over 20 odd albums. So sometimes it's difficult for me when you go to town, because you might go to a place like Mexico. I just went to Mexico, and there's certain tunes what they like. And when you're performing, sometimes you kind of get stuck in, not stuck, but you kind of have your set list. And these are the tunes what you personally might like, and you think that the audience might like. But then, you know, when you go to a promoter, say, well, you've got to sing this tune, and you've got to sing that tune, and you've got to sing this tune, because these are the tunes what are popular here. So then I have to rehearse those tunes and learn those tunes, because some of these tunes I might not, you know, if you ask me, like my guys asked me to sing Complain Neighbor, you know, and sometimes I don't do that. I might not have done that tune for years, so then I have to retrain the brain, get back onto it, listen to it, learn it until I have it back into my head. But there's some tunes, it's like when I'm doing dub plates for sound systems, if they ask for all the time the lyrics are rhyme, it's easy because on every show I'm doing that. So it's easy for me to just spit it out. Good to have the feeling you're the best. Hello, darling. Rice and peas and chicken, chuffing. Girl and my best friend. All these tunes are simple because I do them all the time on my shows. But then if they ask for Slang 10 Finish Already or Robotic Reggae Matical Style nowadays, computerized with my delay, I can't remember the whole thing. I can remember the chorus. You know, I might remember the chorus or a bit of it, but I can't remember it because they're so long. You know, so it's just like retraining your brain. So everywhere you go is different. I mean, the place I liked performing was Africa. You know, I liked going to Gambia and Botswana and, you know, South Africa, all these kind of places, because you know, if you go to Gambia and there's like a state and you're in a stadium, it's a nice feeling to go home to the motherland, and then you've got all these thousands of people that come to your show. So that was a nice feeling going to Gambia. Australia's an interesting place. Yeah, let's just call it interesting. Let's just call Australia interesting. Yeah, I went to Australia about 3 times. It's nice when you're when the people that come to the show to see you, they're your fans. So it's nice. But then when you go out to a club, you feel the vibes that I find it very racist there.
They don't like the black man there.
Yes, something like that. So there's a place called Byron Bay, and it's very tropical.
Okay.
In Australia, and that was really nice. Because it reminded me of Jamaica, the way how the vibe and the people that were warm and nice. But Japan was nice. It was interesting there. I went there a long time ago now, so it must have changed so much since I was there. But there's so much places, but it's all different vibes. But when you go to Japan and you go to a club, Jamaica, in Japan, and then you see Japanese people dancing like you're in Jamaica, it's interesting. You know what I mean? And it's amazing to see them do that. You know what I'm saying? So everywhere you go, Kat, is different. But I still love the Caribbean. Caribbean is like the hardest, especially Jamaica, you know. But when I go, I just take it to them. Wherever you go as a performer, for me, I just go in. You can't show fear, because my training was the dance hall in the UK. And when you're in a blues dance, the people that are right there, like they are now, you know, they're standing right. The sound is here, and the people that are right there. So if you ain't taking it to them, they're going to let you know right away. You know what I mean? Really? So they're going to tell you to give the mic to him. You know what I mean? Because what you're doing is not really happening. So, and they're going to tell you straight up. So when you get that training, you know, for me doing Top of the Pops and all these things, it was like people said, well, how do you feel transitioning from the sound system to Top of the Pops or to whatever? But for me, it was just like, I don't normally mime. So the first time I did Top of the Pops, I had to mime. I had to basically sing along to one of my songs. So to me, that was alien, because everything that we did was live and direct and there and on the mic and right in front of your face. So to me, to go on Top of the Pops and mime, it was like a walk in the park. It was easy.
What about Coventry? Coventry's the best place.
Yes.
Coventry's the best place.
Okay. No, it's not.
So you know, the reason why I asked you that question was because I played on the old school reggae club.
Yes.
And the audience has changed.
Yes.
And I wanted to know, how can we influence more young black people in particular to kind of come into that space, into that element?
Well, you see, people get into what they're fed. You know, people can be sheepish, if you like.
Yeah.
So if they're fed a particular type of music, it's like Afrobeat is like a pop music now.
Yeah.
You know, and everywhere you go, you hear it. So people get into what they hear.
Yeah.
So if they don't hear Tippa Irie, or they don't hear, you know, I don't know, Papa Levi or Maxi Priest or whoever on the radio on day in, day out, they're not going to get into that. You know what I'm saying? So and it's difficult for us, because obviously our tunes are not getting played on the stations, because there's a wide audience up and down the country that on the, like, you know, they've got the BBC, then our kind of music, it's on specialist shows. It's not being given the same, you know, if you're playing an Ed Sheeran tune, you should be able to play a Peter Honeygale tune. If you play a Janet Kay tune, you're supposed to, you know, play a Christina Aguilera tune or whoever. So there's so much talented UK artists, you know, that whether they be old school, there's new singers like Alicia Scott and people like that, you know, young artists that's coming through, and they're making good music. So the music deserves to be played on the same platform, on the same level as anybody else's, you know, and let the public decide whether this song is good enough or it's good enough. But unfortunately, there's a lot of gatekeepers within the music industry, so they stop our music from getting played on the stations that pay. Because you got to remember, our tunes get played on a lot of community stations, a lot of pirate stations. So when our tunes get played on these stations, there's no revenue for us. You know, we don't make money when our tune gets played on any pirate station, community station, and most of the internet stations, there's no revenue. So if your tune gets played on the BBC, if it gets played on Capital, if it gets played on Kiss, Smooth, Heart, all these stations, the revenue comes in.
Okay.
So if we were getting played on these stations, I would be very wealthy, you know. So and obviously they don't want that. So this is why, you know, we don't get played on those stations.
So, you know, speaking of that, and there's been talks recently about it, do you think that we, as people within the music, should create something for ourselves?
Well, there's lots of people that have things and organizations that, you know, we have created for ourselves.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, if you're in a situation whereby the powers that be that control the revenue and the income, it's very difficult for you to get your foot through the door unless that gatekeeper lets you through the door. You can always build and try and build something for yourself. Just like me, I'm self-employed. You know, I do my own shows. I have, you know, I'm writing books. I'm doing, you know, gigs. You know, I produce other artists. You know, you can do so much.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But us as a community, we need to come together more within our community, the black community, come together more and build for ourselves and have for ourselves, so that we can, you know, elevate ourselves. You know what I mean? But sometimes it's still down to the fact that, you know, the BBC is the BBC, and they control that. And if you can't get in there to earn the revenue, then it's a long process. You know what I'm saying? But it can only happen if we come together. But unfortunately, a lot of the times we don't.
Well, I guess the next question is why.
Well, that's within the community. There's the community to. It's just like it doesn't matter how you want to look at it. It's like people have different opinions on circumstances. Because to me, it's just like what's happening now in the world. You know, people just lay down and take whatever, you know, they see on. That's how powerful. There's a lot of stupid people in the world. You know what I mean? There's a lot of sheep and a lot of people that just sit there and take whatever's dished out to them. You know what I'm saying? But for us as a community, we need to just basically come together and try to build together. You know what I'm saying? But you still need funding and, you know, to do that.
I hear that. You know, one of the tunes, you did it tonight, I'm an African.
Yes.
I ain't gonna lie, that really touched me, that tune.
Yes.
And I want to know why that inspiration came about, that you did with OBF. Why did you think it was a need to put out there? Yeah,
well, for me, it's just like sometimes when I get a beat, you know, because they came to my studio and they were like, you know, this, I don't even know what you call it, it's the American kind of trap music. So they come to me with a jiggity jiggity Tippa, we wanted you to do a style called jiggity 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 jiggity. I'm like, okay. And then he came, and then I think it was Rico and Charlie B came, and I thought, okay. So when I heard, they left, and then I just heard the beat. I put the beat on, and I was playing. I said, I can't do that. And the first thing that came to me was, I think I got a picture of my mom and my sister on the wall, and when I looked at my mum, the first thing that came to me was, I'm a black man, I'm an African, my parents are Jamaican, and I grew up in London, so now I know where I'm coming from. But vibes comes to me in strange places sometimes. I could be getting out of my bed and I sit at the side of the bed, and then a lyric comes to me, you know what I'm saying? And I think, oh, that sounds good, you know what I mean? And then I'll grab my phone, and I'll put it down, you know what I mean? And then when I get to the studio now, I play the beat. And then if I really like the beat, something, I find that some lyrics just come, don't know where it comes from, but they just come, you know what I mean? And I'm an African is just basically, obviously I was born in London, you know, my parents are from the Caribbean, and our ancestors are African. So I just thought that, you know, I could tell a story about those things. and speak about those things, because those things, you know, they mean a lot to me. And I just thought it was definitely a message that I needed to kind of get out there.
Do you feel like you accept that as people of Caribbean descent or African descent? You feel like we accept each other?
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
I mean, you know, there's like, you know, there's obviously difference of opinions, and different people have different mentalities and different ways of seeing things. But I think they, you know, that's why I need to, you know, for me, if I can get one person on board into what, or wake one person up, then the way that I do it is through my music. Whenever something is happening in my life and I feel that I need to express it, I do it through music, and I do it through writing my lyrics. That's what helps me through.
I hear that, 100% hear that. So I know you've gone on a massive journey.
Yes.
But what has been like your favourite time, and I suppose the challenging times? If you can pick one.
That's difficult, because I've had a lot of good things happen to me. The Saxon time, the Saxon era in the 80s, that was amazing, because it was like, within the community, it was like a Beatles mania kind of thing. So it was amazing, because everywhere we went sold out. Everywhere we went, we was getting the attention, and from being on the sound and then record labels becoming interested in what we were doing, you know what I mean? So, because I got signed to Greensleeve Records with Sandy and Rusty and Daddy Colonel. Maxi Priest got signed to Virgin. Papa Levi got signed to Island Records. So that time was a really exciting time for all of us in the 80s, because, you know, we were all getting picked up by record labels, and it was stepping into a new era, a new genre, you know what I mean, from the sound system into actually making tunes. So I think the Saxon times were really good. I got the opportunity to do a tune with Will.i.am for the Black Eyed Peas, a song called Hey Mama, and that was an exciting time as well, because it was unexpected. It was unexpected, and, you know, I think it was around 2003. I was on tour in California, and I think he must have seen me. I was working with this guy called Motivate, who's like a DJ, and he asked me to do this tune for him. He played me this track, and I wrote this tune called Every Day. And Will.i.am must have been like walking by the studio when I was in the vocal booth. So he came in and said, Motivate, who you got in there? Who's that guy? He sounds dope. You know what I mean? So when I came out, he said to me, yo, where you from, man? I said, I'm from England. He goes, some more of it goes, that's Tippa Irie, don't you know him? He goes, no, man, but you sound fucking dope. So I'm like, okay, cool. But anyway, he just said to me, yo, I'm going to have something for you. So this is why you kind of just have to, music is a thing, you got to go out there and make your own luck. You know what I mean? With music. You can't just stay stagnant and think that nobody loves me. You got to get up and you got to go. And I went to, when I did that, I left from America and I went home. And then my friend said to me, yo, Tip, I got some shows for you in California. So I said, okay. So there were small shows. So I was staying at my friend Dave's house. He lives in a place called Laverne, which is like the east of Los Angeles. And I was sleeping on his couch. He said, Tip, I know you can stay in a hotel, but no, I want you to come and stay with me at my house. So I said, okay. So anyway, I did about 4 shows, and one of them was at this place called the Belly Up in Solana Beach in San Diego. And there was like maybe 150 people there. It was $7 to get in. So I weren't making much money that night. You know what I mean? But I got a call, and it's from this girl called Shelly Roots. So she phoned me, she goes, Tip, Will.i.am wants to play this tune. So at that time, they weren't big. There was no Where Is the Love and all these tunes that were huge, Shut Up, and all these tunes. There was none of that. You know, they were just like underground hip hop. You know? So anyway, I said, okay, I'll come and take a listen. So when I went down there, Fergie had just kind of like joined the group. So when I went in, I saw her, she's like, hi. I said, hi. And she's like, oh, I'm Fergie. I said, I'm Tippa. Nice to meet you. I'm come to listen to one of your tunes. So she said, okay. So anyway, I went into the studio and he played me the tune. So when I heard the tune, I thought, when I feel something, I can be pretty quick. But I said, you know what, Will? I'm going to take this tune, I'm going to take it back to where I'm staying, I'm going to live with it for the night, and I'll come and see you tomorrow. So when I went back home, I just thought to myself, I'm in America, so let's kind of use words that Americans like shorty and stuff like that, that Americans are used to. So I just came up with cutie cutie, and show you moody moody, shake that thing in the city of sin, and hey shawty, I know you want a party, and the way your body, I said, right, that's it. Because I think at that time, Elephant Man was doing well. So I kind of just put myself in Elephant Man mode, you know what I mean? And then I came up with that vibe. And then what I did, I stayed up all night. Because what they do, he would like leave the gaps basically for you to fill. So he would put the format and just leave all the spaces for you. And he said, right, you just fill all of these gaps. So basically that's what I did. So I sat up all night, I didn't sleep. I got on my friends' nerves. He's like, keep me still up. I said, yeah, it's my studio tomorrow. I've got to finish this tune. So I finished the tune. I went back there, and then I just knocked it out of the park. It took me about half an hour. I just voiced it because I was rehearsing.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew, he said to me, right, I'm going to pay you this amount of money, and I'm going to give you this amount of publishing. So I'm like, okay, I can live with that. And then I just left. Yeah. And then 6 months later, I'm at home in Streatham, and I turned on the TV, and then times MTV was prominent, and I heard Where Is the Love? And I went, oh, looks like something's going to happen for these guys. And then the next thing you know, Where Is the Love was #1. So I thought something is definitely happening. And then they released a tune called Shut Up, Shut Up, Shut Up, and then that was a hit. So I goes, I wonder if Hey Mama's going to be the next tune. And so said, so done. It was. So I got called. You know, I was in my boxers in Streatham, sitting on my bed, and the phone rang. And he goes, Tippa, it's Will. You know, he said, we want you to come to California, to Hollywood. I'm like, okay, I think I can do that. You know? So next thing I know, I'm on the plane, you know, going to make the video for Hey Mama, and then that tune kept me in work for at least 4 or 5 years, and I ended up doing Glastonbury because we opened up for Paul McCartney, you know, so we ended up doing Glastonbury, and then I went on the road with them, and we done some shows with Britney Spears, we done some shows with Mary J. Blige, we done some shows with Korn, like some of the big rock groups. And I used to be the mic man. I used to like open the show. So basically I would come out and I would do 2 tunes, and then I would introduce the Black Eyed Peas. And then they would come out, and then the second tune in the set was Hey Mama. So then I would come out and I'd do Hey Mama with them, and then that was my job done for the rest of the evening. But the moral of the story is that when I left to go to America, to do that show for 150 people, $7 to get in, I didn't know that I was going to end up doing a tune that was going to keep me in work for 5 years. So this is why sometimes you have to make your own luck, and you have to go and do, and then see what happens.
So that's going to be, I'm guessing, exciting times.
Yes.
But what have been the challenges that we could learn from?
Well, as individuals, we go through traumatic things sometimes, you know what I mean? So you go through personal things that are traumatic, and, you know, in our community, sometimes those things happen. So, like for me personally, you know what I mean, I lost my sister when I was in the 90s. My sister got killed. So that kind of knocked me for 6. But then I kind of threw myself into the music again, you know, and that kind of like drew me out of the depression. So that was a really, you know, like a nightmare on Elm Street time for me when I lost my sister.
Yeah.
And then obviously there's, you know, when you get successful and some of your peers have not reached those levels that you have reached,
yeah,
then sometimes, you know, that can be trying too, because jealousy creeps in and all of those things. So I've been through that, and sometimes talented people, they're afraid of talented people.
yeah.
So a lot of the times when I find myself, I'm working with a lot of these groups or a lot of bands, and I come in and I take things to, you know, that it might get a level, then you take it to another level, then, you know, for some reason they get frightened or whatever of your talent kind of thing. So you face a lot of hardship sometimes dealing with things like that, and dealing with how, and then the ego. What I can't really take is the ego a lot of the time in the business, and the ego of people and how they are, because people are just people, you know, and I've always kind of tried to remain level and humble, and just, you know, deal with people or treat people how you want to be treated. Because I'm a singer, you know, I might need a plumber, or I might need a carpenter, or I might need a bricklayer, and that's their skill, and they do that, and I can't do that. They can't do what I can do, and I can't do what they can do. So everyone's unique and have a unique, something special about them. So you have to just deal with people on a level and remain humble, and deal with people, you know, on this, and treat people basically on the same level.
I hear that, 100%. I feel like that's some great advice to take away.
Yes.
Just in life in general.
Yes.
But
yes.
Stick to my roots.
Yes.
Tell us.
The book.
Yeah.
Take a look.
Did you write the book?
I wrote the book with my friend Mark Wallace.
Okay.
And Mark is a very good friend of mine, what I've known for, must be over 25 years. And basically, what we did is he interviewed me.
Okay.
And he interviewed me. And he interviewed me. And he interviewed me. So basically, we would meet up, and we would we'd discuss. And what we did first, we got all of the content of the book. We sat down and we kind of worked out what were the areas of my life that we needed to cover.
Okay.
And so basically that's how we did it. So we felt it was very important to speak about my parents and them growing up in Jamaica and then leaving from Jamaica and coming to the UK, you know, and then how they dealt with no blacks, no Irish, no dogs, you know, and how they dealt with those things, and you know, how they dealt with growing up, and how we were growing up in the UK. And so we speak about that, and then we also speak about, you know, Margaret Thatcher, Enoch Powell, you know, and you know, the New Cross Fire, the Brixton riots, basically things, prominent things that were happening in the 80s when I was growing up. So, you know, we talk about my parents and then coming to the UK, and then we speak about just general issues about what's happened, what was happening at the time. Not just obviously about my life and me growing up, going from one primary school to another primary school, and then, you know, basically my experiences living in Brixton, growing up in Brixton, seeing all the changes in London and just in Britain in general. So we speak about all of those type of things in the Roots and Culture chapter, which is like the first chapter, you know, which is the early years. And me, you know, going to primary school, leaving from primary school, going to secondary school, playing in steel pan, and you know, playing football, because I was very good at football when I was young. I was very good at cricket. I just love sports. So I speak about everything to do with that. And then obviously we transcend into the dancehall. And basically talk about my stories of being on King Tubby's leaving King Tubby's, going on to Saxon. The dance is what we do. The lifestyle at the time. We used to smoke a lot of weed. You know, we used to smoke a lot of herb and yeah, just basically have a lot of fun. You know what I mean? And at that time, I said to you, it was like within our community, it was like a Beatles kind of thing. Because everywhere we went, it was just crazy. It was just herb, you know, girls, the works. It was just like that. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie. It was amazing. It was fun, and you know, and then from telling the story about the dance, it's just like basically transitioning into the dance hall.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then from there, I kind of move on to the Saxon chapter. Okay. So I tell the history of Saxon. Yeah. And when the sound was formed and all of that lot, and then all of the stories of us, the different clashes. When we went to Jamaica and we clashed against the sounds then in Jamaica, the sounds then back used to clash us in England, and we went through it then because once you start to become successful, people want to go through your neck. Yeah. You know what I mean? And physically too. You know what I'm saying? So we used to turn up at some dances and the sounds then couldn't really take what they was about to happen, so they wanted to fight us. You know what I'm saying? So we used to have to go through that. And then when we went to places like New York, it was crazy because when we went to New York for the first time, it was like we didn't know at the time, because we were like 19, 20, and it was drug dealers that brought us to New York. So when it took us to this house, and we were staying in this house. We were staying in Utica Avenue in New York, you know, right near to Brooklyn, and we was in the house, and then we all had our rooms and whatever, and then Rusty would call me, sir, Tip, come. And he'd come and he'd call me. And then we'd be like two kids looking through the door, and then they've got like a pile of cocaine on the table, and then this guy is putting together machine, artillery. Yeah. So they're thinking, well, are we going to a dance or are we going to a war? You know what I'm saying? And we were just naive at the time, because remember, obviously we're 18, 19, and the sound was just blowing up. So we're going to New York for the first time, and then you just see guns going into the sound van, and then we've got to now go into the same van. So at the time, we didn't really, you don't really think about the possibility, because anyhow we got stopped by police, we couldn't say that one of them guns weren't ours. You know what I mean? But we did it anyway. We went, and then some of the dances, it was dangerous, because you're going to Bronx, Brooklyn, and then there was a lot of the shower posse and all these posses were going on at the time, and man would come to the dances and shoot up the dances. So there's a couple of occasions where we're kind of like hiding, like behind the sound. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because man, I shoot up the dance and things like that. So we went through a lot of traumatic things. And but it was just for the music. We didn't really think about it. We just did it.
I get that. The only bit I took from that bit was the drug bit. And the guns. I was thinking, boy.
Yeah, well, you at the time, like I said, we were young, dumb, and we just did things. But we were just, for us, it was just us, going out there to entertain, and that was what we were there for. We weren't there for none of the other stuff. We were just there to do music, and that's what we did.
I hear that.
All of it just came with it.
So, writing your book, did you feel vulnerable writing the book? Did you have a cry, or was it excitement?
No, it was lockdown.
Oh,
okay. It was lockdown, you know what I mean? At the time, I just thought that it was the perfect time for me to write the book, because everybody was at home. There was nobody, weren't going nowhere. You know what I mean? So my manager came to me and said, "Oh, Tim, this might be the perfect time to write the book." And then my sister was like, "Yo, go write the book." And then, all my friends are like, "Yo, Brethren, you need to write the book." So I said, "Okay, I'm going to write the book." So I just linked Mark, and I knew that, I've got Maxi Priest in the book, I've got Janet Kay in the book, I've got Jumping Jack Frost in the book, I've got, you know, Brantley Haynes, who used to manage me back in the day. He managed me, Pato Banton, and Peter Spence. He's in the book, you know, and, you know, there's a lot of my close friends. You know, my friend Neil passed away recently. He's in the book. He's the person that I grew up with, and he just died recently. I went to his funeral on the 12th of February. And I've got people like close friends in the book. So there's loads of people in the book that's also telling their story of working with me and the relationship that they had with me. So it's definitely a good read, you know. So, you know, I'd like people to support.
So with all of that being said, what would you, as Tippa Irie, like your legacy to be?
Well, I guess it's just, you know, somebody that made good music and somebody that entertained people, somebody that left something behind for their kids to be proud of. And that's another reason why I wanted to do the book, because we need to tell our story ourselves. You know what I mean? We don't really want nobody telling our stories for us. We need to tell our stories ourselves. So there's pictures in there of my family, my mom, my dad, my grandmom, my kids, you know, and that's something that, you know, when we did the first book launch in Brixton, and that sold out, that was really nice. And my granddaughter was there, and she came up, she's like, Granddad, when am I getting my book? When am I getting my book? And as soon as she got the book, she sat down, Jada, God bless her, and she just started to read her book. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just a blessing to be able to leave the book so that my grandkids can read it and they can say, well, you know what, my granddad, he was cool, he did this, and you know, left something behind for them to look up to and to inspire to. So that's all, you know. So it was important for me to do that.
And you know, I'd like to know, my last question is, what's your up and coming projects? I know you've been doing some work with King Jammy, you're on the radio, you do so much. So let the people know what you're doing.
Well, if you want to find out about what I'm doing, it's, yes, buy the book, take a look, buy the book. It's very simple, really. It's just Tippa-Irie.com. So if you go to Tippa-Irie.com, it's all there. It explains everything, what I'm doing, I've got a brand new album out right now called I'm an African. That's out. I got another album out called UK Dancehall Pioneer, which is like a duet album with a lot of beautiful singers. That's out right now. I've just started my new album, The King Jammies in Jamaica, which I'm very excited about. I've done 12 tracks, and I'm doing a track with Warrior King, I'm doing a track with Maccabee. Hopefully I might get a Beanie Man and a Bounty Killer track as well. But I've written 12 songs already, and I'm really happy with them. And not even Jammies has not even heard them yet. But I went to Jamaica, I did them at my house out there, and I've written them. And my friend, the guy that's the executive producer of the album, he's in Jamaica right now, but he's going to be back, I think, in about a couple of weeks. And then I'm going to go to his studio and re-voice everything in a proper vocal group and such. And then we're going to go to Jamaica to mix the album in Jamie's studio. So that's going to be, I don't know what the album's going to be called yet, we haven't decided on the title. But I have got I'm an African out now, it's still new, and UK Dancehall Pioneer is out now, and that is still new. So if they go to Tippa-Irie.com, they can buy the book from there, or if you want a signed copy, you can buy it today. And yeah, so the book is what I'm pushing right now. The 2 albums are out. So, and then if they want to see me perform, they just click on tour, and then all of the dates will come up of where I'm performing around the world, and they can check me out.
I hear that. So, you know, before we do open it up to the floor for people to ask questions, what would be your final thoughts for the people who have come and seen you today?
Well, first of all, I appreciate you guys taking time out to come and see me and listen to my story and hopefully purchase my book. I'm just very grateful. You know, I'm grateful that when people take their time out to come to my shows, or people take their time out to come and listen to me speak, I'm very grateful. I'm just happy that I can still do this at my age, doing what I'm doing, something what I love to do. You know, this is not work for me. You know, I love speaking about my journey. I love performing. I love anything to do with music, whether it be in the studio. I went to Jamaica for 3 weeks and I wrote 12 songs in 3 weeks. You know what I mean? So that's my gift. So I just want to, you know, I just want people to kind of find their gift, and whatever their gift is, to just try to excel in that. Okay?
Definitely. And I want to say thank you to you as well for bringing this great music to us. Without you, then we wouldn't hear it, so I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
So people, we're going to ask you guys, do you have any questions? Okay, Vex, go forward.
Right, on the steel band player, I played in a band called Phase One Steel Orchestra.
Yes, I used to play steel band.
I know, that's right. And I know you have a lot of gigs where they're steel band player.
Yeah.
I played solo here as well, but what band did you play? I'm a soprano player.
I was a lead.
Lead?
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
same as me then?
Yes, I was a lead pan player. I mean, I wouldn't know where to start now.
I'm sure
If you brought it tonight, I'm gonna be honest. I did that at school. So I went to Beaufort School, and I was in the school steel band. And then I went. There was a guy called Zach Herbert. He died a couple of years ago actually. And Zach was the leader. He was our teacher at school, and then he brought me to the Paddington Youth Steel Band. So we used to play in Nottingham Carnival. We played at Dorchester Hotel on Park Lane. I got a few gigs with him, but I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't play the pan now. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know where to start. I'd have to relearn myself. Okay.
Any more questions?
Okay, let's go.
People are shy.
I'll ask some questions. Smiley.
Yes.
And how has that affected you? And I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
There's controversial circumstances.
Yeah. Very.
Well,
Smiley, we was all kind of. But obviously, when people are, you know, become adults, everybody kind of goes their separate way. So if I would see Smiley on occasion, how you doing? You good? We'd sit, we'd chat, we'd talk, and then we keep it moving. So I wasn't really in his life on a day-to-day basis. So it was just painful of what happened and how it happened, and the hands of the police. You know, so you don't know what people are doing when they're not in your presence. You know what I mean? So I don't know fully what happened and why it happened and what did and how it happened.
But even the family though, the family were never informed what.
No, it wasn't. I mean, when it happened, there was about 500 people at the Brixton Town Hall, and then the family kind of wanted the funeral and everything to be private. So I think I actually went with Max to the funeral. There was only a few of us that were allowed to go. So I think that if the family was more receptive for everybody to be there, I think there would have been more of a push to kind of find out what was happening. But then when they had the inquiry, you know, there was still uproar there because they knew that it was just far out. I mean, I know somebody very close to him, and he went to the dentist one time with Smiley, and he said, my man, you know, nobody likes going, I don't know anybody that likes going to the dentist. And Smiley was terrified to go to the dentist to get his teeth out. So the fact that the police said that he went into a room, took a samurai sword and killed himself, I can't really see that happening. I can't really see him doing that. So, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, and if you think about it, if you're in your house and the police raid your house, the first thing they do is apprehend you. The first thing they do is handcuff you. The first thing they do is make sure that you can't move or do anything like that. So the fact that they said that he went in and gone and made a cup of tea and took a sword and stabbed himself?
No.
Man. I don't believe that. So he obviously, there was something in that they wanted to shut him up or whatever, so they took him out. And that's how I see it.
You know, we need to give a round of applause for Smiley, man.
Yeah, he and Afro-Senator, they were like, you know, two of the best lyricists and very original and very creative, and we used to pinch a lot of styles from them.
Any more questions?
You said you were a sporty boy.
Yes.
Like your cricket and your football.
Yes.
Were you an all-rounder, a bowler, or a batsman?
I was all-rounder. I used to be in the middle order at cricket. I got trials for London. There was 3 of us: Winston Roberts, Michael Edwards, and Anthony Henry. That's me. And the other 2 made it, and I didn't quite make it. But I was very good. So the school, you know, I used to be an all-rounder. I used to be a decent bowler, and I used to be a middle order batsman. But our school was right next door to the Oval Cricket Ground. So the cricketers would come sometimes to our school, and sometimes we bowled them out, you know what I mean? So we bowled out a couple of the English batsmen, Graham Gooch, people like that. There was a friend of mine called Derek Bryan Slater. He was actually an MC of mine, and he had, I don't know if you remember a guy called Max Walker. He used to be a fast bowler for Australia, and Derek had a similar action to him, which was unique, and he bowled out one of the England opening batsmen. So we were very talented when it comes to sports. We love sports. Arsenal. Lord. I'm an Arsenal man. I have actually done a song for Arsenal football team called Shouting for the Gunners. Arsenal won the cup double in 93-94, and I did the FA Cup song with Peter Huntingdale called Shouting for the Gunners. So I'm very good friends with Kevin Campbell. Paul Davis used to go to my school. In fact, he taught me. He used to teach us in PE sometimes. Kenny Sampson, left back for England. He used to play. He used to go to my school as well. So we had some good footballers at my school, and I was very, very, very good player. Very good. I was a right winger. Used to score a lot of goals. Used to just do yeah. I love football. Put it that way.
We can tell.
You hear the knowledge, right?
Yeah. Just when you said 93, 94, that's when I was being born.
All right. Yeah.
Any more questions, people?
I think it's time for you to play some music.
Yeah, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. When you get a tune, you're in the studio and you hear a tune, you listen to that song.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you go home at night,
No.
what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
No.
I've got structural damage from your stuff.
Yeah.
Coughing up fire and all that stuff.
Yes.
When I play that stuff now, I don't know how that was recorded, but that was different.
Yeah, yeah. No, you just happy. It's like when you know when I was doing the album, I went to Jamaica on my own, and normally I go with my missus, but I said to myself, I need to kind of focus on this album and not have no distraction. And sometimes, you know, what he done, he sent me a lot of rhythms. So I would just listen and say, no, I don't like that. And then I'll listen to one and then I say, right, I feel this. And then it just comes to you. And then when you get a song and it's actually finished, and then you're listening to it, and you know, if I'm smiling, I'm nodding my head, I'm smiling, I know that I've got something. No, you just know. And then if you don't like it, you know, if I'll do something, and if I don't like it, I say no, I don't like it. And then if I don't like it, I know the audience. I'm not gonna like it. Yes. Yes. Yeah. No, you got to do. Music is a feeling, you know. It's a feeling, and if I feel the music, the lyrics then come. And sometimes, you know, you don't have to write, because if you've got like, I don't know, 20, 30 albums, there's all of these albums, you've got different melodies and styles on them. So I might go back to something old and listen to that, and then take that style and that melody and then write something new in that style and that melody. But once it sweets you and you feel good about it, you fall asleep. You fall asleep eventually because you're tired. So you fall, but I play and play and play and play. And once you're doing something and you're playing it over and over again, you know it's good, because you don't want to put it down, or you don't want to stop playing it.
And I've done that to your tunes many a time in my car.
Thank you.
Rewind.
Thank you.
I'm happy you said the tune. I thought you meant fall asleep.
Yeah.
So, Tippa.
Yes.
I have to say thank you.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
People, please give a round of applause for Tippa.
Thank you, guys.
I hope you find Coventry Street well.
Yes.
And I know you're going to be signing some books and so on for
Okay,
people.
I hope so.
Definitely. And people, come and say hello to Tippa. He's okay. He's not shy. So we're going to play some tunes for you. And what would you like to say as final words?
Yeah, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for Two Tone Village for inviting me down. Yeah, I really appreciate it. And yeah, we've got some books here. If you'd like to purchase one, you're welcome. I'll sign them for you. And you can read my journey. Thank you very much for coming. Thank you. Yes, Kat.